In the vast, golden plains of the African savannah, a ranger was patrolling as he always did. But this time, something happened that defied every law of nature he thought he knew. Standing before him was a mighty male lion, the king of beasts. But the lion wasn't roaring. He wasn't growling. Instead, he rose on his hind legs, pressing his front paws together in a gesture so human it froze the ranger in his tracks. It was as if the lion was begging, and what he was asking for would change both of their lives forever. Before we dive deeper into this unbelievable story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss more amazing animal stories from the wild. The ranger's name was Daniel, a man who had spent more than a decade protecting the wildlife of Africa. He knew the signs of danger, the flick of a lion's tail, the low rumble before an attack. But today, everything was different. As Daniel drove his jeep across the dusty track, he spotted movement near the tall grass. At first, he thought it was just another routine sighting, but when he stopped the engine, the air grew heavy. Just a few feet away stood a powerful lion, muscles rippling under the sunlight, golden mane shining like fire. Daniel's instincts told him to stay calm, not to provoke the animal. Yet something was strange. The lion did not charge. He did not crouch to pounce. Instead, the great beast took a step forward, then rose slowly onto his hind legs. Daniel blinked in disbelief. He had never, in all his years, seen such behavior. And then it happened. The lion brought his front paws together, as if in prayer. The sight was so surreal that Daniel forgot, for a moment, that this was one of the deadliest predators on Earth. The lion's amber eyes locked onto his, filled not with rage, but with desperation. Daniel's heart pounded in his chest. Was the lion trying to communicate? Was it possible that the king of the savannah was asking him for help? The lion dropped back to all fours, then turned his head sharply, looking toward the distant trees. He took a few steps forward, then stopped and glanced back at Daniel as if signaling him to follow. Daniel hesitated. His training told him this was madness. Following a lion on foot was suicide. Yet something inside him, an instinct stronger than fear, pushed him forward. He gripped his medical pack, slung his water canteen over his shoulder, and began to follow. The lion moved quickly, but kept looking back, ensuring Daniel stayed behind. This strange dance continued across the dry plains until they reached a patch of dense, thorny bushes. There, hidden beneath the shadows, lay the reason for the lion's desperate behavior. A lioness. She was sprawled on the ground, sides heaving with shallow breaths. Her fur was matted with dirt, and her leg was caught in a crude steel snare, a poacher's trap. The cruel device had bitten deep into her flesh, leaving a circle of blood and torn skin. Every attempt to move only tightened the grip of the metal. Daniel felt a rush of anger and sorrow. He had seen the damage poachers inflicted on these lands, but never this close, never with such urgency. Now he understood. The mighty male had not been threatening him. He had been pleading, begging Daniel to save his mate. The male lion stood just a few feet away, pacing anxiously. Every time the lioness whimpered, he let out a low, mournful sound, unlike any roar Daniel had ever heard. It was grief, pure and raw. Daniel slowly crouched near the lioness, careful not to make sudden movements. His hands trembled as he reached for his toolkit. The male's eyes never left him, muscles tense, ready to defend his mate if Daniel made the wrong move. "I'm here to help," Daniel whispered, though he knew the lion could not understand his words. Still, something in his voice seemed to calm the great beast. Daniel examined the trap. It was brutal and simple. a steel loop designed to tighten with every movement. He pulled out a small hacksaw, his only hope of cutting through the thick wire. As he worked, the lioness struggled, her eyes wide with pain. The male growled low, stepping closer. Daniel froze, sweat dripping down his brow. One wrong move, and the lion would tear him apart. But then something incredible happened. Instead of attacking, the male lion sat down just a few feet away. His golden mane framed his face like a crown, but his eyes told another story: fear, love, desperation. He was waiting, trusting Daniel with his mate's life. The saw bit through the metal with agonizing slowness. Every scrape echoed in the still air. Minutes felt like hours. Daniel's hands ached, his heartbeat thundered in his ears. At last, with one final stroke, the steel snapped open. The lioness flinched, then collapsed with exhaustion. Blood seeped from the wound, but she was free. Daniel quickly cleaned it with antiseptic and wrapped it with the bandages from his kit. All the while, the male lion watched silently, never breaking eye contact. Then came the moment Daniel would never forget. The lioness stirred, struggling to her feet. She limped, but she was alive. The male lion immediately pressed his head against hers, nuzzling her with deep affection. The sound he made was almost a purr, low and vibrating, filled with relief. And then, slowly, the male lion turned back toward Daniel. For a brief moment, their eyes met once more. The king of beasts lowered his head, almost like a bow of gratitude. Daniel stepped back, overwhelmed by what had just happened. In that wild moment, the line between man and beast had blurred. A predator had trusted a human with the most precious thing he had, his mate's life. The two lions moved away together, disappearing into the tall grass side by side. Daniel watched them until they were nothing more than golden shadows against the horizon. As he walked back to his jeep, the weight of the encounter sank in. He had always believed animals lived by instinct alone, driven only by hunger and survival. But today had shown him something greater: love, loyalty, and even the ability to ask for help. And perhaps, he thought, the most unbelievable part wasn't that a lion had begged him. The most unbelievable part was that he had understood. This story proves that even the wildest creatures carry love and compassion. If you enjoyed this journey, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you'll always know when the next incredible story is released.